Since our chairman, Marty Schwartz, is unavailable, I'm Joe Fraiche. I'm the vice chair sitting in for Marty at this meeting. And maybe just to call the meeting to order at 4:03. First order of business, pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great, thank you. So I guess for our first item here is the roll call. We'll just go around and introduce ourselves. We have two new members here, which is great. As I mentioned, I'm Joe Fraiche. I'm the vice chair of the committee sitting in for Marty Schwartz today.
I'm Brenda Steele, director of the Visual Center.
Nina Chanana, new member.
I'm Bernie Lynch, a new member.
And an old one. I'm Julie DeMarco, Human Services Director.
I'm George James. I'm the new recording secretary.
Great, thank you. Welcome to everyone that's here. Maybe do you want to officially introduce our two new members of the commission? On behalf of the commission and Marty Schwartz, our chairman, we welcome you to the commission. And as we go through our minutes of meeting today, if you have questions about some of the projects we're working on, please just ask us. We'll try to give a little bit of background on some of the items as we go to them. But anyway, on behalf of the commission, we'd just like to welcome you and thank you for joining the group. Thank you. So with that, I guess we should hold off on minutes
Right.
approval. And should we go through new business? The first item for new business is one of our commission members is typically a liaison, is that the right term, with the town's Board of Health. And we are looking for somebody on the commission here to serve as that representative. So if either of you two people are interested, please let Julie know, because this is an important position. We had a woman who did it for a number of years, Carolyn Dungy. I think probably Bernie, you would have remembered her.
Yes, of course.
She served, and it was a very important position going back and forth. So if any of you, either one of you are interested, please let Julie know, because it'd be a great thing to have fill in.
What does it involve?
It's a monthly meeting. I don't know what day.
You go to their meetings.
Right, and then,
Share.
right, and it's something, they can be Zoom as well, and then you come back. You're the liaison to us, but you're a voting member on the board, on that Board of Health. So they have specific things that they have to have representatives from different committees or different
Okay.
departments, and this is a requirement.
Okay.
So think about it if you're
Yeah.
interested. I'll try to find out. In my real folder, I had the dates. I'll get the calendar. Okay, and I'll send it out. So if you're considering it, then let me know.
Okay, the next item under new business is the charter revision. This is kind of like a thing revisited. I don't know, Bernie, if you were on the commission at the time when we put in our comments to the original charter.
I think I was off by then.
Okay.
That Jeff, that. the whole
That's why you left.
The charter.
Probably why you left. Well, just as a way of background, I think Julie had sent out great background material on. One is the current charter,
Mhm.
which of course we all know we had a proposed charter revision 2 or 3 years ago, which was voted down. So now we have a new charter revision, and we would, I guess, Julie would like to, we did submit comments to the last go around on the charter revision. Some of them, they were basically just cleanup. There's nothing controversial. I know that maybe some of the other charter revisions were somewhat controversial, but I think what Julie had sent to you, I believe, was a copy of our comments, the commission's comments, I should say, drafted in 2022.
Okay.
And if you look at them, basically what we were just doing is expanding basically the area of responsibility, not expanding, but perhaps clarifying the area of responsibility for this commission and for Julie's position. If you look at the current charter, this is somewhat limited. It talks in terms of responsibilities, just limited to aging and to the handicapped. We clarified it a little bit, include veterans benefits and the youth services. not youth services, Bureau, youth services and underrepresented groups. So if you could look at the comments that we had sent in, because I think what we have in mind, Julie, is perhaps sending in the same comments if it's still appropriate to do so.
Right, if that's what the commission, especially with new commissioners on it, to take a look and see if there's
Okay.
any, that it did clean up the language, and made it much more people forward focused. But Joe's right, the commission would then submit comments to the commission, to the charter commission for them to consider. They may or may not invite somebody to come in and explain. I will, to be crystal clear, we talked about this at our last meeting. I did send in a suggestion with the language to be changed, and also Marty sent the same thing. But also I sent in a proposal to combine this commission with the Commission on Disabilities from the department, not from the commission, because that's separate. Just because the Commission on Disabilities is fantastic, but new and probably could use more support. And we'd want to have, I feel like it would be good to combine the two of them. And this commission doesn't have to agree with that. You can work together to put something forward. We may consider having a subcommittee, Joe, of people looking at the charter.
I just wondered, from a time point of view,
Yeah.
is there any time factor with this, getting comments? Because the group has been around for a while and they seem to be moving. I don't know. So
I think March might be the date is what I heard, but probably should, you're right, we probably should get ideas. So, have everybody do some homework, look at the charter.
okay.
And there can be comments about the entire charter, not just our department.
But I'm sorry, so when you mentioned March is the time we should get back to them, or is that?
We should probably try to send something by March, because they asked for
Okay.
department heads by the end of December. And then they were looking for other boards and commissions.
Okay, because if you look at our comments, basically they're just I know there's a very long document with the charter. There were basically just two sections of the charter that we comment on, section 9.10 and 10.16. And if you look at the letter that our then chair, Laura Inserto, had sent to the commission, you'll see exactly the language that I'm talking about. And that it did make it into the final draft of the charter that was
Was not
voted
approved.
down. But the Charter Revision Committee did incorporate our comments into their final document. So I guess what we're saying is, or what I'm suggesting is, I think we should just go with the same comments unless people feel differently. But with the point you're bringing up, Julie, I guess, to combine the two, is that something that would be in the charter that we have to?
It would be, the Commission on
Okay.
Disabilities isn't in the charter.
Right.
Remember, that was a temporary commission.
Yeah,
And it was just extended for a year. So it would be in the charter. And it's an idea. And I think
Okay.
if the Commission on Disabilities is also looking at their role, like where they would, if they're better suited to be part of the ADA compliance officers world, or they're also interested in helping with the new Parks and Rec Adaptive Center. That's
Sure.
going to be at
Okay.
Grassmere. So that meeting, we didn't have a quorum for meeting this month, so their next meeting is to discuss what kind of suggestions they have. So I'm not sure where they're gonna land, or if they're going to land differently, but
okay.
it still would be good for this commission to still have disabilities as an area of interest and consideration.
Okay, so the fact that we don't have a thing in the charter currently for a separate disabilities commission, to me means that and we're saying disabilities is the our commission. You think we'd still need language which would clarify that if there is a separate special commission set up,
Yeah.
the disabilities would be a subcommission of this commission?
My department suggestion was to combine the two into one commission. So that it would be a commission on aging and disabilities. I can send out or have for next meeting what I had sent.
Okay. No, I'm confused because we're the Human Services Commission.
Right.
And we're
Right.
saying we cover
Then-
disability, disabled people.
Right, and we
So-
do now, but it would change the name. My proposal was to change the name to a Commission on Aging and Disabilities.
Oh, to change the
From-
name of the Human Services
Yeah.
Commission.
Yeah, because that's the
Mhm.
trend in terms of human services, is to have a commission on aging. really light notes on this. You'll see that all of that is in the last meeting and you can take,
Yeah.
the language
Is it-
change.
Do you know when that was formed and like why? What
The
was-
Commission on Disabilities?
Mhm.
Yes, that was under your tenure, right? It was, the commission was interested in making sure that people with disabilities were well represented for the town. So the Human Services Commission had a subcommittee on when Bernie was
Mhm.
chair. And a task force and studied what other towns do and what would be the best fit for Fairfield. And came up with a commission on disabilities. Because the charter wasn't open, working with the first select woman's office, we got a temporary commission for 3 years because the charter wasn't open,
Mhm.
to get started with it. So it's a separate entity from this. And it's a very dedicated and thoughtful group.
Mhm.
It's just having, it's struggling to get the quorum ready to vote. You know, some can appear one day and others.
Mm.
So it's not stumbling, but it could use more support and to be part of
And
this
it's
commission.
not reporting to any particular town body.
It reports to it's part of it's like this
The
commission, like
sub-
comes to the Human Services Department.
Mhm.
But the town has a new, as of last year, a new ADA compliance officer who is the HR director. So they're looking at, should that be
Yeah.
something through there? Because they're not a complaint board.
Yeah,
There's, looking at how to make Fairfield a
Right.
more accessible and better place for people with disabilities.
right.
There were several commission members at the time, who were very strong advocates for,
Sure.
particularly for people with disabilities.
Yeah.
And we did a survey, I think.
did.
We
We
did a
did.
town-wide survey, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And it came up.
Came up with that there was a need.
There
to
was a
have
need,
separate-
it was seen as a need.
Yeah.
We identified need. Social
Needs
service,
assessment, right.
social service needs in the community. And more attention for disabilities came up as a high ranking item.
Okay, but I think at this point, we feel the differently then. Yeah.
Well, the commission, we need a full commission to have a conversation about what,
Yeah, I think
what
we
we
do.
see, yeah. You know,
Absolutely.
I feel like there's such a need, but the new adaptive program through Parks and Rec is all ages of Fairfield, and maybe it would be helpful to have Anthony come and talk to this commission about that as well. That he came to the Commission on Disabilities, and it sounds like it's gonna be amazing and innovative, and that might be a better location or a better department for them to be a part of.
Mhm. Okay. The other thing I guess we do, if we change the name to just the Aging and Disability Commission, whatever, it goes against what our comments are about the area of responsibility, because we're trying to clarify that we do things other than aging and disability, like veterans benefits and people who are underrepresented. So I don't want to belabor the point on this, but I think by February, we should. It just seems if we change the name, it's inconsistent with what we're doing
Yeah.
with the change of the area of responsibility. So
Right.
my feeling is I think we should just keep the name. I think Human Services is a broad enough thing to cover disability, but I guess since we don't have the full commission, I think we really do have to resolve this by February
I agree.
so we can get the thing in time, because that's more important. So
Yeah.
if you wouldn't mind looking
Yeah.
at least the letter that Laura
Absolutely.
Inserto had sent to the commission to see if you have any comments and kind of compare it to those sections in the charter, current charter, and see what we've done. And I guess we should figure out, so in
Yeah.
February, I'll come up with a decision
Mhm.
on it. Great. Okay, any questions or?
I did one more thing on it. There was discussion last meeting, which you guys weren't here for because you weren't here yet. The commission sent a letter to the first selectman requesting that Youth Service Bureau be moved from Parks and Rec to the Human Services Commission, Human Services Department. So the commission sent a letter to First Selectman Gerber, and there's meetings about where that's gonna land, and that's something that a former commission was very passionate about. And there are definitely benefits to it. I don't know where that stands, and that was part of the discussion last month about there's nothing in the way I proposed the changing the name that covers youth services. And
All language does.
yeah, well,
No, I mean, the
It
area of
says-
responsibility, we put in youth services.
but
We-
right, for the new language, right?
Yes,
But I just want to say, we still don't know where that's going to sit, and if it does move, or if there is a temporary commission set up, that would be a separate, like we did with Commission on Disabilities. It could be a temporary 3-year one and then renewed if needed.
Right.
So I don't know, it's just a way of letting you know, I don't know where that stands, and that's something for the first selectman to decide, not us or.
So I gather,
commissions.
Julie, have they at least acknowledged receipt of the letter?
I think he may have emailed Marty back, because it came from Marty's email, I don't. know.
Right, okay, yeah, it was a letter from the commission, not from Julie.
Right,
And we haven't gotten anything back from Anthony either on it?
I don't know.
So Anthony requested who was requesting the YSB move? It was coming from Parks and Rec.
It was coming from Human Services
You
Commission.
guys were saying, and did you have a rationale?
It's just that are you comfortable speaking about it? I don't, I'm uncomfortable saying where it should be sitting, because
Yeah.
departments don't do that to departments.
Right.
But,
I think what it was is that there were a couple of people that felt that Human Services had more of a clinical team that could address the issue. I think one of the points they made is they thought it'd be a more effective use. Right now, they felt that housing it under Parks and Rec didn't feel that they had given it the priority that perhaps the Human Services could come up with.
Okay.
And one of the commission, unfortunately, she's not here, worked with another commission as far as devising a new plan that would make the program much more effective. For those, it basically addresses mental health issues for youth.
Yeah.
And of course, you have the town, the Board of Education involved with it. You have a lot of different groups going on. And I think two of our members made a very effective, I thought, presentation at one of our meetings where the first selectman and the head of Parks and Rec were in attendance. And kind of left it to us to figure out what the next step was. And our next step was to send a letter to the first selectman, again, outlining some of the points that were made in the presentation at the meeting. And I guess we're just awaiting to hear comments back from first selectman's office and from Parks and Rec on this thing. But, we sent it out in December, right before the holidays, so it's kind of tough to.
Did their presentation include sort of an overview of what they've done with that funding every year or like annually?
It didn't get that
Didn't
granular
want that
at all. It
granular,
was
okay.
just they were getting into, some of the presentation got into the type of personnel too, that would be handling these matters. And they felt that it needed to be a different type of people who would be addressing the problem, that you really needed to have somebody with a more clinical background to
Yeah.
address mental health issues.
Yeah.
I'd be
And
happy to send
That's
those,
what the
the
email was
letter and
about,
the
it was about mental health
presentation.
issues that was
Yeah,
sent to Phil.
It
Work
was,
with a lot of
I know, that was
YSB
just the
stuff.
background. It was just
Curious.
explaining that that's why
Right.
it'd be
How it
more
came out.
appropriate for it to be with the Human Services Commission.
I
Rather-
work as an intern first, like, so I can ask Bill or Jen if they've ever got that email.
Oh, I appreciate that. I think we all would appreciate that.
And he may have responded to Marty, but it came from him. So part of it was that there's not a dedicated staff member for it.
Right.
Parks and Rec has a
It's Youth
couple of
Services
people working
Bureau.
on it and working with JRB that, it's not clinical staff. Nothing about the funding or the
that.
breakdown of the funding.
That wasn't.
No, but I'd be happy to send, I'll resend to everybody what.
Yeah, that'd be a
that
great idea.
presentation, Yeah.
Well, someone's got to have access to their budget and what they're doing with it. It's public. I mean, it's public information.
Right, but that didn't even
Yeah.
weigh into the consideration of it, but.
So may I just clarify, so the stated position of the Human Services Commission is to integrate youth services with the Human Services Department and have some subcommission relationship with the current youth services?
The letter requested that it be moved to the Human Services Department from.
The Youth Services Bureau.
Youth Services Bureau moved to the Human Services Department.
Okay, and is there a commission associated with the youth service? So it's just an operating,
Right, there's a
Oh, I
Youth
see.
Services Committee made up of youth. And the
Oh, I see.
the
Okay.
presentation was pretty
Okay.
thorough, as Joe said. It,
Okay.
talked about in the state.
Yeah,
Most youth
Yep.
services are under Human Services, although some are under Parks and Rec.
Yep.
And there's been staff turnover at Parks and Rec, and it's, they definitely took notes and notice of suggestions from the commission, but also are working to beef it up anyway.
Great. And then who is, it's not youth services that are doing the, what is it Fairfield First, the
Fairfield Cares?
Fairfield Cares?
No, it's a separate group.
It's a separate group entirely.
Yes.
Okay.
I think that was part of the issue that our two commissioners mentioned, because it's kind of diffuse, it's different, it's
Yeah.
very confusing for parents to locate who they should go to if they have an issue like this. And so that was one of the points that was brought up in the presentation, was to get all the stuff together
Right.
and house it in one location.
Yeah, it's pretty, I
That
mean,
location would be the human services.
Right, I'm typically used to it being in a youth and family services, which.
Yeah.
Or community services.
yeah,
Right.
if you think of youth services and recreation, and Parks and Rec, you're thinking recreation. You're
Yes.
thinking
Yeah,
activity
yeah, it
based.
kind of lines up.
So,
That's
okay,
right.
well, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad to
Yeah.
hear that.
So
Yeah, so-
take a look at it and
Yeah.
we'll follow up, Georgia, follow up, and also
Yeah.
That'd
hopefully
be
Marty
great.
will be back by then.
Appreciate that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good, thanks. I guess, ready to switch quickly to old business and, if I may, let's talk about age friendly. I'm not sure, and you folks may have been aware of this, but this is an initiative that was started about 2.5 years ago, where the town, as part of, application with the AARP, is to get into this thing of being designated as age friendly. And what the initiatives really involve is doing certain action plans in certain areas. They call them domains, but it's basically areas, and these areas are things like transportation and housing and health and social participation and communication and things of that nature. And so Julie and Brenda have been spearheading the thing on behalf of the town. And we've had two folks from the Senior Advocates Group spearheading it as well. I don't know, you know her, Loncourt, or John Wynn.
Chasing me.
Chasing you, okay, good. But they've been kind of spearheading the project. In addition, we've had task forces set up, working with the four that I just mentioned. And we have been meeting on the second Tuesday of the month, second Monday of the month, excuse me, Brenda, at the senior center. And so if either one of you are interested in joining the group, we really welcome it. We're really trying to push the project a little bit because it's been about 2.5 years. But in that time, you probably realized that a townwide survey was sent out in 2023. That has been followed by numerous focus groups, follow-ups on it. A more recent survey was sent out on the health and wellness point of it recently this month. Series of meetings are going to be set up with some of our community partners, the Rotarians and Kiwanis and things of that nature. Having more public meetings with some of the faith groups, et cetera. So what the idea is, we would like to send in at least a status report on 4 domains that we've basically been working on primarily. One is transportation, another one is housing, one is social participation, the other one is wellness. And with the idea of sending something in by June to the AARP as a status report. So we're getting our comments together now. Again, working with different focus groups and meeting with different people to kind of refine what we've come up with. But we have a pretty good task force. I think we typically have, about 6 or 7 people that come up every meeting. We spend a lot of time noodling. We also, I guess, Julie, we have this thing coming up from AARP about how we can strategize. There's a whole big seminar. They're having a 2-day thing.
Yeah.
Which I was
Yeah.
wondering if maybe could we set that up as something at the senior center where
Yeah,
there's
that's a
a
great
bunch
idea.
of us. What it is that the AARP has sent something around, and Julie has forwarded that to some of us around the task force, which is basically strategies as far as age friendly and what you can do for implementation and so forth. And it's, I think it's a 2-day session for a couple of hours each day. And if we could all just if we could have something
idea.
set up. So I guess this is my long-winded sales pitch again. This would be a great opportunity for our two new members to get involved with. We're always looking for new blood, new thoughts. And
So
You know,
can
it's a
I
lot of
ask
fun doing
how
it.
you get, what do you need to be able to get this designation? Is the AARP group gonna eventually review some sort of documentation?
yeah, we've actually coming
or-
with specific action items with goals. So it's not just doing something, but it's coming up with timetables and things of that nature. So it's very specific action plans. And I don't know, Julie or Brenda, if you wanted to talk a little
Well,
bit.
it's actually
about
a little odd just because you actually receive the designation before the work is done. So the
Yeah, so
designation
you
is
get
really
the
a commitment from us, from Fairfield, that we're going to be working on it.
Right.
It's a 3 to 5 year plan. And then after that plan, you have to apply for it again. So it's
Okay.
continuous.
Okay,
So you really have 3 to 5 years to submit your final plan, which really the plan is in the domains that you choose, a plan that shows how you're going to move forward as time is moving forward with,
yeah,
relevance and keeping
Right.
up with, technology and all sorts of,
so
in all
the
sorts
four
of ways.
domains
So,
Just to
were
confirm.
Fairfield specific. Those were you guys chose.
Yes.
those.
yes,
Those four major fields were transport, housing, social participation, and what was the last one?
And community health and wellness.
and there's a website.
Yeah, no, there is.
On the town website, if you search age friendly.
Yeah.
There's also some backup information, and then we're happy to share some other information with you as well.
Thank you, sir.
So I'm gonna be sending a ton of information to you, so I'll put a link on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did go when that survey came out, I peeked.
Yeah.
but,
I mean,
um,
we are just one of
that's
7
great.
towns in Connecticut with that designation, so it's
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's
and
exciting.
as Brenda mentioned, it's an ongoing process. So we've been involved with this for about 2.5 years, and we probably will be going in for up to another 3 years at least, rolling this thing out and coming up, refining and so forth. So, it's to the extent you're interested, please, let us know, because we're always looking for new blood and new ideas.
It's true. It's not to tell the town what to do, it's to
Right.
come up with ideas so that when there's like a zoning plan or when there's, permitting or open space, that aging is part of the consideration.
Mm,
I mean, it's a cool idea that
Yeah.
WHO started it. AARP picked up on it.
Yeah,
But
no,
I'll send the link so you have that.
great.
You have a
Mhm.
lot of reading to do.
Involves, all the departments
Yeah, it should.
Yeah.
as well,
I
so.
think it should.
Right.
Birth the end of life.
So that's it with age friendly. Commission on Disabilities, is there anything? I've spoken about that
I
already.
did, and we did not meet this month,
Okay,
so nothing.
So you sit in both of those. So it'd be nice if they were one.
Oh, awesome.
Save you
It would be, it would be awesome. Yes. Mhm. Yes, it is self-serving too.
and I guess with youth services, we've already covered that as under old business.
Yep.
So with that, Bren, do we have anything with the department update?
The Bigelow Center, yes. So off to a great start for the new year, a couple of exciting things. We are part of just one of a few senior centers in the state who are going to participate in a pilot program, a virtual senior center.
No,
So it's, with online programs, we're going to be doing it for a year, and we'll see how it goes. And we're going to offer it to our members. It's free of charge for now, because it is a pilot program offered again by the state, which is really great. And it has been a request for some of our members, post-COVID. We actually stopped the Zoom process, which was great because it did bring everyone kind of back to the center, which was our goal, and not offering Zoom. But now here we are again. And we're excited to be part of it.
that's great. Is
Yeah.
it exclusively gonna be online or is it gonna be hybrid?
It's online. So these
So
programs are
it's-
only online. Yes.
Is the state, the Department of Aging? What's their name?
It's,
Commission?
no, it's the,
It's not a logical
not
name.
one.
No,
I feel like I don't know the
name
name.
is the, state.
Sorry, I didn't, I
No.
just was like, I don't think I know.
You should know that now. Bureau of Aging,
Bureau
Connecticut
of
Aging
Aging.
and Disability
Right, right.
Services. Yeah, so,
Something.
yeah, so,
That's great.
there is, they approved last year for a senior center coordinator and municipal liaison. For the first time ever, it's a new role to help support all the senior centers, and she has been working on this senior center.
And you have the technology you need.
Well,
on
and it
your
really
end.
is, we really don't need the technology because they're actually providing the programs.
Okay.
There may be a way that we can do some of our programs. We're just looking into all of it.
Following it,
And
yeah.
we'll have a training over the next couple of weeks, the senior centers that are going to be involved in it. There
The
may
pilot
be-
program.
Yes,
Yeah.
pilot.
That's cool.
So
And the content would be exercise and
exercise, educational
lectures
programs,
and-
lectures, yeah.
It's interesting because the pilot program is free for the first year. Did you already say that? Yeah, and we don't know, we'll see how it works. If
Yeah.
it's something that we want to do, we could subscribe to it. I think we have two Zoom capabilities, like 2 Zoom accounts that come with the pilot, from what I read. And we can show it at the senior center, can loan it out.
We do have some iPads, so we'll see.
Yeah.
So this would be in addition to like an exercise program, in addition to the current exercise program that we offer in person. So people would have a choice then that they could either come in person to the class or do the virtual. Is
No,
that-
not right now. We won't be Zooming the classes at the senior center.
No, no,
These
but
are-
I mean, I was just curious, what the content of this virtual program, I thought were exercise classes.
It is, so they would log on in the exercise classes somewhere else.
Right,
Someone
right, that's what I
else
mean.
is
So that,
offering it.
so people who currently come to the center would now have this as an option of something else to do.
Yes,
Right.
so yeah, it's an addition.
It's not the center's classes being
Not the
Zoomed,
center's.
it's, some kind of other.
It's the Bureau of
Right, at-
Aging.
Bureau.
Yes, as of now, that may be something that will be added in.
Yeah.
Throughout the year, I'm not sure.
Right, but that just puts a lot more work on your hands, which I think
Yeah,
it's
I-
great that they're not doing that.
And not all our teachers wanted to do Zoom and have their classes out there and shared
Sure.
without
Yeah.
compensation. So we have a lot to work through.
Yeah.
But and they also don't have to do the classes at, at 10 o'clock Friday. Their
Fundamental.
classes, exactly.
Right.
They can choose when, they can choose the lectures,
Great.
armchair
Yes.
traveling, that kind of thing.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are they
yeah, we're
lectures
excited.
too, like, is it like lifelong learners type thing that they would be?
Yes,
Again, the same thing, you could do this on Zoom
yeah,
rather than going to,
yes.
that's great.
Yeah. Yeah, so more information as we dive in and training and find out a little bit more, so we can share more about it maybe the next
That's
meeting. or
great.
the
So when do
meeting
you
after.
think this will be available, Brenda?
I think probably maybe March. I think they're still, we don't have a date.
We don't have the
We're
MOU
just
yet.
kind of
Oh, okay.
starting.
Gotcha.
Yes, we have to sign it. Memorandum of understanding. Some of that stuff, so. And then we have a quarterly survey, and we did one in December and in January, and good news, everything's going well.
Good.
A lot of positive, but it's a really great opportunity for us to get feedback, good and bad. And, everyone also has some wonderful suggestions, which make a lot of sense. So it just helps us in offering everyone what they want to see at the Bigelow Center. So, just a few highlights, our lunch program, not a lot of people eat lunch and not a lot of people want to. Would you come to lunch every day if it was offered? 95% said no. Right. Would you recommend the Bigelow Center to your friends? 91.3% said yes. So it's a great way for us. Yeah, this is actually just the online responses. So we haven't tallied the online with the paper copies as well. But after reviewing them, they all look pretty good as
That's
well too.
great.
But yeah, so that's good.
So they can take this on, like when they're there on a piece of paper, or you'll send them a link.
Yes, or there's a link in a weekly email update.
Great.
So that's what we have.
I have some social services. We hosted a legislative breakfast last week that SWACA, the Agency on Aging, pulled together. It was unfortunately on a day that the Democratic Caucus had a mandatory meeting in Hartford, so we had Tony was there, another rep from Trumbull who left, can't remember his name.
Sarah,
No,
Dave Rotigliano.
somebody Shine Bloom perhaps. I don't know where he's from, but he was there for a little while and then left. And then Ann Hughes from Easton called in,
Mhm.
which was good. So it was fine. It was well attended by people in the community and senior providers. We presented, there were 5 presentations: transportation, Medicare, Medicaid, housing, and Bill Lenahan did housing, and I did social supports. So it was good. And poor Tony was the guy who was the recipient of all that. We need you to do this, we need you to do that. So it was interesting though. There's another one tomorrow in Darien, same kind of players. We are partnering, social services is partnering with youth services and Fairfield Cares for a presentation that one's next Wednesday. It's about burnout, it's for parents about burnout. That's at the senior center on Wednesday night. And then another one in the end of March that will be on how to get the help you need for your kids if you're concerned about them, what to look for, you know, in terms of if you're nervous for your children, where you can go for help. So I'm excited to be partnering with them, and I appreciate that they want to partner. So that's a great one. I'm in the middle of the budget season. I had my first budget meeting yesterday with the first selectman and his team. And our budget is never really that dramatic. There, you know, there's since we charge for classes now, we are down in one area for fees and professional services, so we're actually giving some money back. And there'll be discussions about the social service pieces of the budget for the financial assistance. But I'll keep you posted on that. I might need some support on that from the commission.
Why is the fees down if we increase the fee?
It's the line items. That wasn't
Oh,
very
okay.
clear. So we have a line that's fees and professional services that we used to pay all the instructors out of and buy the pickleballs and that. And now we have, because we're charging fees, we have a different line account that's general fund. So instead of paying out of town money, we're paying out of the money that we're collecting from members who play pickleball and take classes and out of town membership. So it's a better system, and anything that's left over goes in the general fund, not to us, goes in the general fund. So it's good for us. It's good for it's a good look for the senior center and for the town.
Good, because it was a concern that with these, it didn't appear anywhere, these increased
Yeah,
monies come, so this is, to me, it sounds like a good thing.
yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
Great.
And I think that's it for social services.
Okay, before we adjourn, I just have one question, which we would try to, veterans is obviously part of our area of responsibility, and for the last couple of months, we've been trying to get somebody from the office with who she is housed. She's the benefits counselor for veterans. She's housed in the senior center. She's a very smart woman. Unfortunately, her husband has had medical issues. In fact, he's
Still with us.
He's what?
He's with us. He's still.
Okay,
yeah.
but unfortunately for her, but we were going to have her speak just to give us an update as far as veterans benefits, and I think you'd enjoy her. She's a very smart person, but unfortunately with her husband being the way it is, we haven't been able to schedule it. We have scheduled it a couple of months. We've had to postpone it, so that may be something you may see on the agenda.
Yeah, that sounds great. That's
Depending
something I know very little
Yeah.
about.
What her
Yeah, that'd be great.
availability is.
I have great news for you then. There's a second veteran service officer who started last week, Bianca, who used to be there, the very tall one, so we can see if either one of them.
That'd be great.
Yeah, so maybe
So
for,
it's through social services?
it's housed at social, at the senior center in social services, but they're State Department of Veterans Affairs, and we have a satellite office.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's right there in the
Great.
senior
Yeah,
center,
it's
and the
really
people who
bad.
are there are
It's
very
common for
good.
towns to have a satellite.
So maybe we could try to get somebody, this new person, to speak at our next meeting then.
Yeah.
Next month's meeting.
You know, that's a great question. We could do that unless you want to wait till April after we have a charter conversation.
You think maybe the charter thing, maybe you're right, because that charter. Well, that'd be March. Could be a February meeting, would be discussion about charter.
You're right.
And then so we'll do veterans in March if that's.
That's perfect. Do you want to talk to Mary and Bianca?
Yeah,
Would
I've
you
been
like
trying
me
to get in touch with Francis, so I'll talk to
Perfect.
him.
Okay. Thank you. Great.
So with that, I don't see anything else here on the agenda. If there's anything missed.
Any questions, ideas?
If not, again, we just like
Just
to
soaking
welcome
it all
both of
in.
you on. And so do I guess we could at least adjourn. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? Yeah.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, adjourned. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, everybody.
Hopefully we'll have more folks next time you guys come. So
Yeah, no, I got a lot of reading.
we'll
to
have to go and
Yeah.
vote on
You
the
want a
minutes
copy?
next meeting.
Oh.
We will, and I'll send, I'll
Alright.
resend the minutes and I'm gonna send youth services,
Yes.
the letter that we sent, the charter.
What was the name of the person who was supposed to speak but had to back out?
Oh, Mary Harris.
Mary Harris.
I have a lot of things to send you. All right, thanks, everybody.
Great,
Yeah.
thank
And this will
you.
be our typical meeting site, will be a different room, but it'll be at the fire trainings.
Okay.
Okay.
Great. Sounds good. Thanks, Kelly.